Okay guys, before I start the video, I actually forgot to mention this, but make sure you know Skewb Notation. There will be a link in the description below for a website on learning Skewb Notation. I will be using that for the algorithms on the screen, so yeah, before you start the video, make sure you learn Skewb Notation. What is up guys, it's Skewb Nation here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to solve the skewb. Now, I know this video set was kind of weird, my camera is actually not working. So I am actually going to be needing to use the iPad. And the problem with the iPad is that it's so zoomed in, like, even if I put it back here, I'm like really far from you guys, and it's still pretty zoomed in. And if I go like barely in front, it's just too zoomed in. So I'm just gonna try my best to make a good recording. So yeah, let's begin. Okay, so let's start the first step. Now, I think just by describing it, it's kind of the hardest step for me to describe, but I'll try my best. So what you want to do is you just want the full side, I'm choosing white, so the full white side, and to have all the same colors, so like red and then orange and stuff like that. So what you want to do is just put one corner at the top. So this is a white, blue, orange, it doesn't matter where you put it. So let's just put it at the top. Notice how this can be put at the top because it's kind of away from it. So I put it at the top. It's white, blue, orange. Now let's just pick a white, orange. Let's find it. It's over here. So because there is a specific like direction this needs to be facing. Because for example, if this was facing like this, so this is a white orange, and it needs to go in here. I can't just put this up and it won't be in the right place. So what I need to do is I need to just keep on rotating this piece. So keep on rotating this white piece until it goes into the right slot. So really all I need to, the harder way I could describe it is this needs to go on the left side. So this white needs to be facing to the right. So left facing to the right. It's like the opposite. So like goes to the left side, has to face the right. And then you can put it up. I think you might know what that means. So like for example, let's say for some reason this needs to go up here. It shouldn't, but let's say this piece needs to go up here. This needs to go on the right side. So this should be facing to the left. And then you can put it up. So yeah, if it's also facing down, you could always just move it kind of the way you want it to. So I don't know if I should explain it like that, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just experiment and just keep on moving the slots. So here's white, orange. It's going to the right, so I would turn this to the left, move it up, put it here, but notice how this piece is gone? It's actually at the back, so I could just move it up. So let me just guide you this piece. So let's say I move this to the back. As I move this to the left, this piece goes back. So like it goes back over here. So once I move this up, this piece is at the back, and I could just raise it up like that. Now let's move on to the next one. This is white, green. Let's find white, green. It's over here. If it's at the top, just put it at the bottom. But be sure to not harm any other pieces. So here is white, red, green. And then you need to make this at the top. So let's just put it down. Make sure it's facing you. And then this needs to go on the left. So just move this to the right side, facing the right side, and then move it up. Now the last. Okay, so it's at the bottom here, and this is where it kind of gets different. So if it's at the bottom, you don't want to just move it up like this, or else you're gonna hurt this slot. So if it's at the bottom, what you're going to do is just turn it 180 degrees, then it's facing you now. So if it was at the top, you want to move it where it's facing you, not facing the bottom. But if it was already at the bottom like this, just turn it 180 degrees and it should be facing you. Now here it is. So it's white, it needs to go onto the right side. So you move this to the left side facing, and then you move it up. This is at the back, so you move it to the front. So it's over here. I want to move this to the left side, and then so I move this, but this white piece is going to the back. While I move this up, this white piece is still at the back, so I move it to the front. So yeah, that's the first side complete. So now we're going to move on to the next step, but if for some reason you didn't get what I said, you could always just look at other YouTube videos, but I think I explained it quite decently. I know it's a bit confusing, but let's just move on to the next step. So there are many cases, but here are one of the better cases. So when you have headlights and these two corners are outwards, so headlights outwards, and depending on which side this yellow side is on, the algorithm changes. So right now, if I face towards the yellow side, the headlights are on the left side. And when it's on the left side, I want to do an algorithm called a hedge slammer. So the algorithm is just going to be on the screen, but I'm not going to say the algorithm out loud. So here it is. So yeah, that's actually a really simple algorithm, and this algorithm just immediately solves it to the yellow side, at least for this case. So yeah, let's move on. This is a similar case, but instead when you face the yellow side, this headlights are actually on the right. So in this algorithm, you want to do something called the Sledge Hammer, and the algorithm goes like this. And similarly, it just solves the yellow side immediately. Now in this case actually requires a bit of rotation, just once, but so this is the algorithm. You want to make sure, so basically all these yellow corners are at the top and the white's at the bottom, and this side is just out of place. So you want to make sure this yellow side is at the back. So white's at the bottom, all yellow corners at the top, yellow sides at the back. So here's the algorithm. So just sledgehammer. Then you want to do a Y2, so just turn it 180 degrees. Then do a sledgehammer again. And that should solve the yellow side. Okay, so this is another case, and this is where the corners, there's only two corners facing the top, so from left to right, upwards. And then here is the yellow corner, and there's another yellow corner here, but it's facing to the left, and the yellow centerpiece is with it. So you want to make sure you hold it where the right yellow corner is facing you, not the left, the right. And then what you want to do is you just want to do a sledgehammer. So, and then you'll get this case. And you'll know this case, so it's when you face the yellow side, this is on the right, so you just do a sledgehammer. And yeah, so here's another case, and this is when the yellow side is all alone and white's at the bottom, and there's two over here, a right side yellow corner facing you, and a yellow side facing to the left, but there's no yellow centerpiece. So what you want to do is you actually want this time for the yellow corner piece to be facing you on the left, the left yellow corner piece. Last time it was the right, but this time you want to hold it as the left, and you want to do the hedge slammer. And then after you do that, you'll get this case. You know this case, and it's just a sledgehammer. In this case where there's two yellow corners facing up, and the right side corner piece actually has the yellow center, and the left side corner piece doesn't. So it's pretty much the same thing where this yellow side had it on the left side corner piece, but this time it has it on the right side corner piece. So you want to make sure the left side corner piece is facing towards you. Then you want to do a hedge slammer. So once you do a hedge slammer, you'll get into this case. And you know this case, it's just a hedge slammer. And that's the yellow side. So in this case, there are two yellow corners facing at the top, and there is a right corner piece facing you and a left corner piece facing to the left. It's the same pattern. But the only difference is that the center yellow piece is at the top. So what you want to do is you want to make sure the right yellow corner piece is facing you, and you want to do a hedge slammer. And then you get to this case where this yellow center piece is with the left yellow corner piece, and then you want to turn it to the right corner piece, and then you want to just solve it. And then, you know, this case, and then yeah. This is another case, and this is where it has headlights and these two are outwards, but the yellow centerpiece is actually with the headlights. And this is another, like, not a one out thing, but what you want to do is you want to make sure the headlight's on the right. Just do a sledgehammer, and then you'll get this case. And then you just do a sledgehammer, and then Y2 sledgehammer. Here's another case, and this is the same thing basically, but there's a headlight, two outer, but the yellow center's at the top. When it's at the top, this is what you want to do. Make sure this headlights are actually facing to the left, and you actually want to do a sledgehammer. Normally you do a hedge slammer, but this time it's a sledgehammer. So here it is. And then you want to do it twice. So that was once, and then twice, and that should solve it. This is another similar case, but instead of the yellow centers being everywhere else and there's headlights here, the yellow center is at the back. So headlights, outer pieces, and you just want to make sure it faces to the right, the headlights, and the center piece is to the left. Then you just want to do a sledgehammer. And then you get to this case where there are four corners at the top, one at the back, sledgehammer, Y2, sledgehammer, and then yeah, you're done. So that's all the cases for the yellow side, and now we're going to move on to the last step. And in this last step, this is actually the most common type of case, and you should always get this, but sometimes you won't. And most of the time you will, but it's the case where there's one full side, and then the rest are out of place. But you should find a side where there are opposites. So there's one green side here, and there's a blue, and at the top it should be the opposite color of blue. And in a normal Rubik's Cube, there is blue opposite of green, white opposite of yellow, and then this is pink, but red opposite of orange. So this works the same way as this. So blue, and then the opposite should be green at the top, but it's red, so that means that's incorrect. So you want to turn it, and there is green at the bottom, and then there's orange here, and then red at the top. So these are opposite. So this is the way you want to hold it. Make sure green's at the bottom. It doesn't matter how else you hold it, but make sure green's at the bottom and you're holding it as these are opposites. So now you want to do a sledgehammer, Y2, sledgehammer. And that's it. Okay, so like I said before, sometimes you might get a case where there is no full side, and this is actually an H-perm case. But it doesn't matter if these are opposites or these are opposites, whether it's a Z-perm or not. It doesn't matter how you're going to do the algorithm. Basically, it doesn't matter how you hold it, just make sure yellow and white are on the sides, and you just want to do the alg. So sledgehammer, turn Y2, sledgehammer. And then there is a side that forms, and of course these are opposites. So sledgehammer, Y2, sledgehammer. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you managed to learn how to solve your Skewb. Remember, this is a beginner method, so it's not gonna be that fast. And I know I haven't been posting lately, but I'll try my best. Skewb Nation, out.